What is up? It's that time, it's that hour, it's Righteous with another video. Alright, so let's get to the topic of the night, of the day, of the hour. The undisputed title in boxing. Is it overrated? Is it a prop? I would say it's pretty close to being an MVP in the NBA. That's the best way I could put it, because I don't watch football, I don't watch any of the other sports like that. But the best way I could put it is that it's like the MVP for the NBA. And let me explain that to you. So most times, if you have guys that are being voted in for the NBA, that makes you like a mini MVP, right? So when Joker won the MVP last year, Giannis was second or third. All right, so was LeBron. And being that Giannis had already won the MVP in the past, KD had won the MVP in the past, these guys are MVPs in itself. You know what I'm saying? Like Westbrook, also MVP. Wherever he goes, he's MVP. Doesn't matter. He's an MVP. You know. So you could be MVP of 2016, like Steph Curry or whatever, or LeBron was. I'm sorry if I got the year wrong, but it carries. All right. But once you get it, it means something, and it's not something of the old days. Because back in the day, if you weren't on the pound for pound list, it meant that you were the man of that division and you were going to defend those titles. Very different from nowadays. When I first started really like focusing on who's going to be undisputed and why I thought it was cool, one of the first people I saw trying to achieve this was Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. From what I understand and from what I remember, Manny Pacquiao has never held the WBC welterweight title at 147. I think he's held it at 140 and many other places, many other divisions, but never at 147. That was a big deal for him. He needed that title. He's had the WBA, he's had the WBO. He never went and got the IBF, and he's never had the WBC. He would have got that from Floyd if he would have beat him that night. So what I'm trying to say is that once Floyd beat him, after that he dropped the titles. He either fought Andre Berto and defended them and then dropped them, or he dropped them right away. But all I know is I remember he didn't respect one of the title rules and stuff like that. So he wasn't really caring about defending those titles or making sure he was on point with those titles and the rules and all that, because at the end of the day, once he beat Pacquiao, he has all those titles. No one really knows or cares that is that's not a boxing fan understands what's going on. They really just going off of what they see, and they just see a bunch of belts. They don't know which one is more important. They just see a bunch of belts and achievements and rewards and whatnot. T-shirts, hats, here you go, you did it. But does it really mean that you won the ultimate? Well, I'm gonna tell you that when it comes to the boxing world, it means a lot, because you're in that list now. You know what I mean? When it comes to other fighters that haven't done it, ooh, it burns. Someone like Triple G that was this close to doing it. If I'm not mistaken, Kovalev was right there. If not, he did it, then he didn't do it for that long. You know what I'm saying? It took him a while. Andre Ward did it, relinquished right away. These guys don't keep it for that long, you know? Anthony Joshua, the last guy I remember doing it for a while was Klitschko. He had those belts for a long time. And trust me, it made a lot of people pay attention when he showed all those belts with his arms out like this, you know? Because like I said in the beginning of the video, not everybody can be on the pound for pound list. Now, if you don't know what the pound for pound list is about, it's basically when you take the skills of a fighter, you put them at any division, and you say, this guy can beat this guy if he was in this division. So let's take Gervonta Tank Davis. Let's say if we took his fight skills and took him to Canelo's division, 168 right now, and we put him against Canelo, he would beat him. That's basically what we're trying to say. Like, that's what the pound for pound list is. It's basically like, it's old, but it's taking skill versus skill. It's not really saying who's the best fighter. It's basically saying who has the best skill. And to me, that argument is a little more difficult than who's the best fighter, period, like overall. So now we have a few undisputeds, you know, Teofimo Lopez, and now Canelo. I want to know what you guys think, you know. Obviously, it means a lot to the boxing world. It's not like he didn't work for them. He did work for them. Canelo worked for them. He did what he had to do to get those titles. Now, is he going to defend them? I highly doubt it, because the examples that he's been getting, like people like Floyd Mayweather, relinquished those titles. Andre Ward, same thing. They just retire and that's it, I'm good. I don't need to fight anymore, I'm good. I'm even hearing whispers that he might even retire in a few years as well, being that he's 33, 34, 32. I'm not sure, but he's been fighting since he was 15, pro. Been pro for that long, 15 years. So now the whispers are starting to come out. See what I mean? I've done it all. That's what's next. You know what I'm saying? Even though one of his examples was also Bernard Hopkins, who defended his titles for a very long time and had all the titles as well. You know? But history shows that it doesn't always work out. But if you want to be compared to the greats and you want to say that you're a real champ, then that's the standard. And I want people to understand that, especially the young cats out there that don't know the history of the game. Yeah, sometimes they don't come out looking that great, but then there's some champs that do still hold their fortitude, you know, they can still think and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's about the money. They're following the money. You know, Canelo, one day he's saying, these fights with McGregor and these fights with the YouTube stars, I don't know, and this and that. And the next day they say they want to fight him too, because they want that check. So again, is the undisputed title a prop? We know this already. We know the answer to this already. We just have to give credit where credit is due. And to be honest with you, the only credit I will give Canelo is that he fights the same way every time, and people expect something different. You know, when they fight him, they don't know what to do. They don't have a game plan for him. And these last couple guys were clearly out of his league. I mean, you know, like I said, 15 years fighting. You got to give him his credit. You got to give him his credit. The people I want to see him fight is Charlo. I wanted to see Jarrett Hurd, but you know he went downhill. He was fighting really great maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and then he kind of like just went downhill. He took too much punches. I think he took too much punishment. I used to laugh at the idea of Wilder versus Canelo because it's just, I find them to be two unicorns in the game. They're very unicorn-like. Who else? I would like to see Charlo. The Beater Beef rumor and the Bivol rumor, those rumors will stay as rumors in my opinion, because obviously those guys take boxing serious. This is more or less like they come from areas where people bite glass before they fucking fight, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if those fights will ever happen. I would love to see another Triple G fight. Some people don't want to give him his credit. He's the one that Canelo couldn't knock out. He couldn't take advantage of like he did all these other guys. He demolished and wiped them the fuck out, and then he can't do it to him. So obviously there's something going on there. I don't want to go on and on about that, but Andrade, that's a good fight. Errol Spence, that's something that I think is something that he's interested in. These things don't just happen for no reason. The fight right now with Khalib was a Heyman fight. Errol Spence Jr. is a Heyman fighter. Terrence Crawford right now is about to cross over to possibly fighting for Heyman. Maybe a 1-fight deal, maybe a 2-fight deal. But he's thinking about stepping over there. It's like, okay, so where are you going, Errol Spence? Are you going to go with Terrence Crawford, or are you going to go with the money with Canelo? He's probably going to pick the money because he's got all these injuries. Eye injury, this and that, blah, blah, blah. He's going to go with the money and cash out. He's not stupid. He's going to cash out. Where was he at? Was Errol Spence Jr. at Ennis, at the Ennis fight, which is also a Heyman fight? No. He went to Canelo last night. Last night. I'll be surprised if he goes to the fight for Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford. I'll be surprised if he does that. But I'm pretty sure he's going to head over to Canelo. It don't take nothing for him to bulk up and get ready for Canelo, especially if he thinks he could beat him. Man, that would be a big jump for him. But how much longer can Errol Spence just keep fighting these old ghosts of the welterweight division? Because Pacquiao's gone now. He's out of there. So how much more can he endure these ghost theories of the welterweight division? Crawford's basically about to clean it out if he beats Porter, which I think is going to be a tough fight. I mean, this is going to be the last of the Mohicans. Nobody's even talking about Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman's not even pulling up. Where are you, bro? So, the Canelo thing is interesting, but it's selective. And I'm sorry to the Canelo fans. You know I love boxing. And the way he knocks his dudes out with the squatting low and getting real close to people that, he's not afraid of their right hand, that's cool and all. I think the knockouts are great. They're phenomenal. And big shout outs to Canelo, because every time he does his fights, it's a big party. Everywhere you go, everybody wants to watch it. And that brings everybody together to say, yo, I love boxing. I love that too. Thank you. But at the end of the day, you left us wondering what are you going to do next, when really the most entertaining part is seeing you fight a good fight, which is somebody that's even with you. So is it going to be Andrade? Who knows? We don't know. Is it going to be somebody that can fight the real fight with him? We have no idea. Who's he going to pick? Who's going to be next? We don't know. But that title, the unified division thing, how long is that going to last? That's up to for you guys. The fans gotta decide too, cause we can't just leave it all to the promoters and these guys. All right, so that was my last rant on the topic. Khalid Plant, shout out to you for trying. 21 fights. I mean, how much can you learn from 21 fights? To fight a guy like Canelo, very different. He got an amateur background. He's also been in the Olympics and whatnot. Yo, good fighter, yo. Khalid Plant is a great fighter. Not great, but like great for what he has done. Much respects to him. He didn't have the right hand to make Canelo respect him. That was the problem. But then you also got the Canelo fans in the background. Canelo, Canelo, and Mexico, que viva Mexico, yo. That's hard to fight, because you're fighting the fans, the ref, and everybody in there. Yo, what are you gonna do? Everybody's there to see the champ. Some people don't understand what that's like. But when you in the arena and you watching the home team getting cheered, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna start saying, "Oh shit, now I gotta really hurt this dude," because every time he hears his name, he gets like juiced up. He gets more hyper. He gets stronger. He feels like a monster. I don't know what the sense of this. That's why he lost. The little details. So, once again, my rant is over. Respects to you guys. Much love. And you already know, let's try to keep boxing alive. I'm going to keep trying to bring it. You heard me? Peace out.